Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Oh, hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome. Good to be back. And there's so much to talk about. Every time I go on vacation or something, there's some wonderful story that occurs that I'm dying to talk about, and I'm without me mouthpiece. Hello, it is Tuesday, August 21st. Beautiful looking day here in Pittsburgh, and I assume a beautiful day in Sarasota, where we find my sister Susan today. Hi, Suze.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm resting comfortably, thank you.
Well, that's good. You're resting comfortably? You mean on vacation?
Right.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand at first. Oh, well, Suze.
Yeah.
Who's your congressman?
Todd himself, Akin.
Well, now, we have all in the United States of America, and I think elsewhere in the world, become acquainted with the man who has represented you for, what, about 12 years or something?
And for 12 years, I can't believe it. You know, every time, it's not like what just came out of his mouth is unusual or anything.
Right.
This is upfront who he is, who he always has been, who he expressly is. So, no surprise to me. I just, was really hoping Claire could defeat him, because then he wouldn't be my congressman, and he wouldn't be my senator. But I think maybe he just did it for himself. You know, it's hard to tell, because the people that are voting for him are from Missouri. And let me tell you, I think Todd Akin's surprised that there was a brouhaha.
Well, because there's national attention, because the race is so important for the Senate. He's speaking the hearts
and the minds of his electorate.
Right. So I would imagine that this hasn't necessarily... McCaskill's probably still losing to him in Missouri, even after this. I don't know.
Maybe not. I haven't seen the latest figures, but this is who she wanted to run against all along, because he is so extreme that she'd have a better chance with women. She'd have a better chance with any so-called independents that may still exist in Missouri. And what it really might do is drive out her vote.
So you're not...
just make sure that they come...
Okay, wait a minute, because I know Missouri's really right-wing and has gotten more and more and more and more so, but I assume that St. Louis and and
Kansas City and Columbia...
But I think of you as St. Louis. So this is the guy who represents... he doesn't represent the city.
No, he represents, and I just sit on the edge of it, a group of western suburbs, and I sit on the easternmost side of that.
Well, too bad.
And he goes west and south, and that's a red part of the county. That's where all the people that didn't want to live with the other people went to.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So... he's got until 5 o'clock today, or the Republicans have until 5 p.m. Central Time today to get him out. if they don't get him out by 5, his name remains on the ballot. So that's why this push to get him out is intense.
He can still go out by the September 25th, but it has to be by court order, and he has to pay for the reprinting of the ballot.
Well, I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, listen, he just put out an ad this morning.
I know.
That says that he's, truly in his heart,
he's terribly sorry.
You'll forgive him for saying exactly what he meant.
Right, exactly. I am sorry I voiced my true feelings. As we all know, this is a terrible sin in a politician. Well,
and I just did a quick scan of his ads because I have been thankfully not privy to them, and every other word is God, and and taking your inspiration from God and following God's law and following every other word.
Well, what? Okay. And what religion would this man be? I want to know what kind of God he's talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about some sort of Christian God.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And he's very pro-life. I don't know that he's Catholic. I don't know what he is. I don't know.
Okay, here's where that term pro-life shows itself to be a ridiculous misnomer, because everything
he's anti-abortion. Let's put it that way.
Everything that he says shows he doesn't give a damn about a woman's life. Not a damn about a woman's life.
He's a father of 2 daughters as well.
Yeah, fine. And he's married to a woman. We all know that. And there are women who vote for him, unbelievably. Okay, let's back up and seriously, somebody help me here. So much of the thing that he said is objectionable that you don't know where to start, but let's just start at the beginning, where he uses the adjective legitimate to in front of rape. Right there, the jaw drops. What possibly is he thinking? I mean, what is the thought that's
all those times that it's the woman's own fault that she was raped.
That she was
what? Or all those times that she secretly wanted it.
Okay, so here I bet he would consider this a legitimate rape. If, Steeler fans, if the young girl that Ben Roethlisberger supposedly raped in the bathroom, if in fact that were proven, that would be considered not a legitimate rape?
Right, because anybody must have wanted that.
No, because she was drunk.
Oh, she was drunk, and that means she consented.
I think so. That meant that she was a slut of sorts, and so you can't rape a slut, I guess, is that what they mean?
Right, and if she gets pregnant, it's her own damn fault.
If her magical women parts, lady parts, don't kick in and destroy the sperm. Okay, so
it's the trauma of the rape is supposed to make her fallopian tubes contract.
Guess what? A fallopian tube is really, really small to start with. Even if it contracted, however, sperm, we were so little itty bitty 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 bitty
even smaller.
Yes, much smaller. There's no way a old fallopian tube could constrict enough to keep them little sperm from swimming upstream or anywhere else they wanted to get.
Right, and if a woman that was raped doesn't get pregnant from it, it's either because she was lucky, or because, think of the number of times that people have sex and don't get pregnant. I mean,
right. Every act of
appropriate time to get pregnant, or the rapist didn't ejaculate, or he didn't ejaculate in her, or, whatever.
Every act of intercourse does not result in pregnancy. In fact, most don't.
Right. But it's supposed to.
Oh, yes. And, but of course, here's what these idiots think. Yes, but rape victims who worship the right God would not get pregnant if raped. That's the sense I get that their thinking is. I do. I don't know how you can constrain the word rape with an adjective like legitimate, which then suggests that there's good rapes and bad rapes, or real rapes and just kind of sort of might look like one but isn't really. I don't know what the hell is going on in someone's head who utters those two words. And here's the other thing. You gotta believe that there are a ton of people just like him in the House, in the Senate, in the Republican Party, God knows, who absolutely didn't react when they heard that.
I mean, there's somehow this suggestion suddenly from the uproar on the Republican side that Akin is an outlier. And he isn't.
No!
The outliers are the moderates who have quit by the droves and disappeared or are otherwise silent.
Exactly true. He's no outlier.
He's no outlier.
He's a perfect representation.
And one of the reasons that he'll stay in that race is because he's not an outlier there. Or at least that's what he's betting.
He's under some serious pressure. He really is. He not only has the head of the ticket coming at him, he's got Cornyn, who heads the Senate election committee. He's got Karl Rove pulling all the money that he was going to give him. I know. I'd really be happy about it, except that I would prefer that he run against Claire. Right. So here's the thing. So McCaskill had wanted him and had to be the guy who came out on top in the recent Republican primary. And in fact, she was gifted with Todd Akin. He won it. So she must be thrilled. Now she's just holding her breath because she does not want him.
Her comment on this is that she thinks it's outrageous that national forces would come in and undermine the will of the Missouri voters. And, she's right. She's a smart lady, Claire.
No, I know. She's very smart. Okay, so we've tried to understand the term legitimate rape. He then says also, the female body. Geez, our bodies are so magical. Maybe that's why, men are so frightened of women and feel this need to control these magical bodies.
No, it's the teeth in our vaginas that scare them.
The teeth in our vaginas?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay. So then he says, on the off chance, let's assume that maybe that didn't work or something. In other words, her magical parts didn't get the sperm, so she gets pregnant. Then, this is the part that really blows my mind. So we got a woman pregnant by rape, and here's what he says to that. I think there should be some punishment. Excuse me? Some punishment.
Yeah, big of them, don't you think?
Yeah, like...
I suppose we should punish the guy.
I guess there's something wrong here then. I mean, in other words, he's not saying there should be punishment until she's pregnant. He says, let's assume that maybe that didn't work. In other words, she got pregnant or something. I think there should be some punishment. But the punishment ought to be of the rapist and not attacking the child. Okay, see what's missing here? The woman. The victim. This is what I'm saying about when the Democrats start howling war on women. This is not hyperbole. There's something about this current crop of conservatism in the Republican Party that is very, very uncomfortable with women's magical bodies, and they have to be controlled. I mean, the fact of the matter is that if they had their way, women would still be what? In the kitchen? I wouldn't be sitting here yapping. They
wouldn't be in positions of power, any sort of control over men.
No, not, because that is not what God intended.
No,
God intended women
intended.
to be subservient. And there's that other Yahoo running in Minnesota who said just that clearly women are built to be subservient to men. And that's another wonderful Republican candidate who's, I think, expected to win in the 1st District in Minnesota. Oh, so the way they think is an unborn, a 20-celled fetus has more standing than a fully grown woman who may in fact be the mother of other children, a fully grown, real, live, breathing, feeling woman, that she has no standing, but this unborn fetus, which doesn't have a chance without her anyway, carrying it. That fetus has precedence over her life.
Right. The second that cell is formed, that woman loses all rights, whether she had any, willingness to be host to this, basically, at this point, parasite. It's an enemy that's been implanted in her by an enemy.
Okay, this just came in. This was what Akin apparently had wanted to say, but his campaign manager said no. Don't make it worse. I don't know if you saw this. Somebody came up with it. It is clear to me now that I did not choose my words with care and did not get across the point I was trying to convey. In hindsight, I guess instead of using the words legitimate rape, I should have used the words, I am an unforgivable, unrepentant, and unconscionable subhuman dickhead. Or, better yet, I am an evil, fucked up man who should never have been elected to the Congress, and anyone who would vote for me is probably a pretty big fucking dumb shit, too.
That's true. I live with them.
That's right. Because, of course, it's all about context. And yes, when you take what I said out of context, I can see how it might sound like I'm denying that women can be impregnated via rape. This is, I assure you, not what I was trying to express at all. Such is the age we live in that one little sentence excerpted in a news report can come back to haunt a person. But if you actually go back and look at the remarks closer, you'll see what I was actually trying to convey in my statement. And that was that, 1, I am a big fucking idiot. 2, I am a nauseating slug of a human being who doesn't deserve to live. And 3, I am essentially everything that's wrong with this country and with humanity in general. Honestly, that's all I was trying to get across.
But I gotta tell you, that's funny, but this is disheartening.
It's not funny, no.
He's been my congressman for 12 years, and believe me, I voted.
Well, if that were my congressman, I would have a lot of trouble. In other words, you do not have representation in the Congress.
And the other thing is that this guy, this is the guy who with Ryan co-sponsored.
Yeah, this
legislation that decides that the conception occurs, when you think about having sex.
Well, it's not just that. Wait a minute. That's the one he co-sponsored with Ryan and about a million other of these wonderful...
And I think that's about the only thing he's ever sponsored. If you look at the guy's actual record, he is a slug. I mean, he doesn't do much harm. Because he's a slug.
But wait a minute. That also is the one that said, there was another, I just knocked my thing out. The thing about that Ryan bill, and let me find the exact word because there's another adjective in that. That is, this bill aimed at banning federal funding for abortion. This is it. It's the same sort of thing as legitimate rape. That bill, sponsored by Ryan and this guy, and, by the way, another 225 of these Republican SOBs, had in it that the only way federal funds could be used for an abortion did include exceptions for victims of forcible rape.
Right, because the unenforceable kind, Well,
it's the same thing. What the hell is forcible rape? Rape by its nature is forcible. What does that mean? What are they thinking? What's the thinking? It's the same. They in their heads, they're making distinctions between legitimate rape. I don't know. Is that the good kind or illegitimate rape?
Yeah. If you have to be raped,
you want to be legitimately raped.
You want it to be a legitimate rape.
Are you sure? Because I think the legitimate rape is when the woman's a slut.
No.
No?
No, that's an illegitimate rape. You're a slut if you've been illegitimately raped. You've been legitimately raped if it was a large person of another race who they would approve as an official rapist type.
Okay. So there's legitimate rapes and illegitimate rapes, and there are forcible rapes, and apparently consensual. What? Consensual rapes?
Consensual rapes.
Or rapes in which the woman has been sent an engraved invitation with an RSVP?
I have no idea.
Well, what?
I mean, how many things is Ryan going to have to? Now he has to run on his record. I've been reading lots of very interesting things. About how his various plans to save everything work, and the numbers don't work. Same with Romney's economic plans. If you put it on the table as he says he's doing, and add up the numbers, well, guess what? It doesn't work. They don't. So if we can't look at these guys' records, so this is his record on social issues. If you're a woman and you're voting for this team, you're bonkers. If you're a man and you're voting for this team on this seemingly economic issues, well, go out and look at the math. I don't understand. Well, of course I don't understand.
Of course you don't understand because you're not living in their magical world.
No.
Ray clears this up very well. This is the other thing they do mean. He says, so these yahoos are suggesting that if a rape victim does get pregnant, it's her fault because she was not sufficiently traumatized for her body to react.
Right. She must have enjoyed it.
Right. He says the victim must have enjoyed it because if it was really traumatic for her, her magical vaginal defenses would have fought off the evil rapist's sperm. That's what they intend. Your body, if you're traumatized, just like, hormones get rushed out, adrenaline gets rushed out, and it kills all these bad things. So if, in fact, she's enjoying the rape, well, then she could get pregnant. That must be what they think. I don't know. I'm just trying to
figure out how this even, let's just skip the whole rape thing. Let's just say this is consensual sex where the woman actually has an orgasm. Isn't everything cramping up then? How do those sperm get through? I mean, I don't understand what they can imagine that the woman's body can do. little gates go down? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, women...
That's what they're saying, that she gets so, as the doctor said, uptight, that everything clenches and clamps down. Can't get through. Well, that's just... I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, this is one of the things that just leaves me sputtering.
Yeah, of course. Ray writes further. Imagine if these white male Republicans were knocked out and awoke with a 2-year-old black child attached to them by a tube. And they were told that the child needs to use their liver for 9 months till a donor becomes available. Do you think they would accept no choice in whether they kept that tube or insisted that they didn't agree to this in the first place and it's not their responsibility to provide, liver functions for this child? Same kind of thing. Yeah, this is what they don't get. Okay, wait a minute. Was that a little much?
No,
that was it.
It was absolutely exactly right. I understand that it isn't the fetus's fault that it came to being, but at this point the fetus doesn't know that it's in being. It's right. A group of cells.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't mean to be a hard-hearted Hannah when I discuss this group of cells as something less than the child that I have carried to gestation and birthed and loved twice. I see them as very different things. Glad I never had to make that choice, but sure am certain that I wouldn't want to give up my right to it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and I really don't think that it's fair that all of these white men think that they know so much about our bodies when every time they open their mouth, all they demonstrate is their ignorance.
Yeah. Oh, dear God. Okay, so what's your bet? He's got, let's see, 6 o'clock our time. He's got 7.5 hours. Are they going to break his knees and get him out? I bet.
I'm betting he stays in. He is dogged, he is stubborn, and he's dull. He's got everybody around him saying, just don't pay attention, you don't need their money, you're going to win. And here's the scary part. He could.
He could still win.
Yeah. Because, Missouri's a show-me state, and they really won't like all these people coming in and telling them that they can't have their candidate. They won't like it. So I don't, obviously, it's very close, but I sure wouldn't go, oh, he's gone.
All right. Well, here's the other thing I came across reading this stuff about this today, and this blew my mind, and I didn't do the math. I suppose I could do it now. Do you have a pencil there?
I have something akin to it.
Okay. It says one estimate published in 1996. Okay, so that's old, but said that about 5% of rapes result in pregnancy. I bet that's about the same for just normal intercourse.
I would think.
Yeah. Or they say 5% of rapes would mean that about 32,000 pregnancies among adult women each year. They're saying that there are 32,000 rape pregnancies a year. 32,000, which constitutes
20.
Yes. Well, what the hell does that come out to, Susan?
Well, that comes out to 670,500 rapes
a year. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. My God.
670,500. Think of what that's more than.
What do you mean?
I mean, really.
What do you mean?
That's more than the populations of how many cities?
Well, it's twice the population of
Pittsburgh. That's 3
Pittsburgh.
times the population of St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I think I should take a break. I really do. Okay?
Yep.
That's a good idea, then. We'll take a
Yeah,
break.
I'll try and take it. I'm going to calm down.
What are you going to do? Take a stiff drink? It's too early. Yeah, just, go out and look at the ocean for a second, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
Go to bergbargains.com for great deals on tickets to the Science Center, History Museum, Carnegie Museums, and some of the best restaurants in Pittsburgh. This week, get 40% off gift cards to the Manor Theater in Squirrel Hill. bergbargains.com. Local deals, local merchants. bergbargains.com.
Howard Allen Events returns to Walnut Street in Shadyside. The 15th annual Shadyside, the art festival on Walnut Street, will be held August 25th and 26th, transforming this popular shopping district into an outdoor art gallery with an eclectic mix of the country's top established artists, as well as new and emerging talent. Admission is free and open to the public. Showtimes are Saturday 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, call 412-682-1298 or log on to www.artfestival.com.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. And at the end of the day, the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. So United Way is asking you to make a pledge. Tutor a child who needs help. Mentor a kid who needs someone on their side. Volunteer to read to children. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Be a reader, tutor or mentor. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Take the pledge now at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316-3381 or email lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Now, more with Lynn Cullen Live.
Okay. We're back. Oh, gosh. So, Susan?
Yeah.
You there? Okay, good.
No, I jumped off the balcony.
No. Hang in there.
Okay.
I got this from my insurer today, and it's an endorsement to my agreement with them. And this goes on to say that I have, they're amending section this and section that, describing my benefits as this and that and blah, blah, blah. I thought, what are they taking away from me now?
Right.
No. They're giving me stuff.
Oh, because of the Affordable Health Care Act.
That's right. Because of Barack Obama's Obamacare. We got a caller. Go ahead.
Hey, I got $700. Okay.
We got a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Lynn.
Yes.
Susan.
Yes.
Okay, this is George from Moon.
Yeah.
I got to get something off my chest here.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm a man. I have a wife.
We'll forgive you.
I have 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I had a mother. I have two female nieces. I have a sister, and this stuff makes me sick about these guys saying stuff that is so crazy. But let me touch on something that I wanted to get two items about these characters. Number one is your esteemed congressman out there in Missouri is trying to nuance rape, just like Mr. Ryan has done too.
Yeah.
I think the way they look at it, and you could probably verify this, Susan, is that they see a thing called legitimate rape as opposed to faked rape, is what, non-legitimate, which they don't understand, or I think they might understand better if you talk to them that there's a forced and a so-called non-forced rape that I think they believe in also. What they don't understand is by nuancing it, you're getting away from the whole thing of what this is about. And that is that whether it's forced, non-forced, whether it's violent or if it's statutory, it's all non-consensual. And I don't think they understand that at all. And I think that's what both of them were trying to do in the bill that they co-sponsored, to split hairs about rape so that the only so-called legitimate or forced rape, in their mind's eye, would be the one that would allow an abortion. That was what's behind their proposed bill that fortunately died in the Congress.
Well, when you talk about consent, I mean, you're talking to about men and some women who somehow think that women should not have the power of consent over their reproductive.
Yeah, well, that's even
organs.
worse. That's even worse. Now, let me squeeze in a second comment, and then you can talk about it further. And that is, I just completely outraged that a character like this from Missouri, who was talking about the science of rape or the science of the mystery of women's bodies that reject.
Sits on the science committee.
He's on a science committee from the House. Right. For God's sake, how do nitwits like that get to such high office and position to be serving on a House Science Committee?
Because
that
nitwits
are talking
elect
out of their
them.
asses.
Nitwits elect them. Guess who's on the Intelligence Committee?
Yeah,
Michelle Bachmann.
I know. Okay, those are my two comments. Talk among yourself.
All right, okay.
But that's my position as a man. I am outraged at this kind of crap that women have to put up with.
Huh.
Last point.
Oh, I thought you said you were
no,
done.
Last point.
Okay.
If a man were facing this,
yeah,
men would be so outraged they would eviscerate these guys and probably even assassinate them. That they thought that other people can stick their fingers into a man's physical life. I think women need to get to that edge.
Right.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Well, as somebody famously said, I forget who, that if men could get pregnant, abortion would be a sacrament.
The race would be extinct. Listen, I mean, I want to, I'm married to an exceedingly nice white guy, I mean, we know there are good men out there. It's just that currently they are not in office.
Well, I'll tell you, they sure aren't in residence in the
The
Republican Party.
good guys are leaving.
God.
I mean, when I wake up yearning, I woke up this morning yearning for William F. Buckley.
Or just think of some of the other conservative. I mean, when I think of the Republicans, I used to think were so
awful.
Give them back. You would kill to have these people back. They were
really,
and they couldn't. They would never get elected in a Republican primary today because they would be too
liberal.
Too liberal.
You're not a Republican.
What's happening to the Republican Party is that they are, and this is why the powers that be in the party are going so ballistic. They made a deal with the devil, literally, years and years ago, that their base, their base would be formed by these, evangelicals. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And it's that they're crazed religious. As you said, this guy says God every 5 seconds. It's their religious view that has been absolutely overlaid on every Republican initiative practically. And the party is now in the hands of these lunatics, some of whom speak out honestly, like this Akin guy, because what he said is exactly what he meant and exactly what he believes. And they know their party is full of these people who share those beliefs, or even if they don't share them, tolerate them. The Republican Party has, this is why they're so desperate to shut him up and get him out. This one was a little too stupid.
He's just, but he's not alone.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
No. I know. That's why you keep having these idiot eruptions. There's so many of them. Here's one. Ted Cruz. This is the guy who will be in the Senate because he won the primary in Texas. He is a Tea Partier. This is the one that Sarah Palin was all over the place promoting. And he will be Senator Ted Cruz from the great state of Texas next year, you can bet. He is in favor, among many things, of destroying the Department of Energy. We don't need it. The Department of Education, don't want it. The Transportation Security Administration. Of course, he wants to totally abolish the Internal Revenue Service. And get this, here's something that concerns him mightily. So maybe they'll put him on the Intelligence Committee. He thinks that the United Nations is trying to ban golf courses and paved roads.
What?
Susan, I don't know. I'm sure.
I get the golf courses part, but paved roads?
Why would the UN try to ban golf courses?
That was an attempt at humor, obviously wide.
Yeah, right. Okay. But so, and paved roads, don't worry. I mean, right here, I was just reading that our Republican Secretary of Transportation here in Pennsylvania has said our roads are crumbling and there's nothing we can do about it. So he doesn't have to look to the UN for, why our infrastructure is crumbling.
We won't pay to repair them.
That's right. All he has to do is look to the Republican Party.
We won't pay for job stimulus to employ people to fix our crumbling country because that's communist. Socialism, run amok.
Ted Yoho, his name's Yoho. It's real close to Yahoo. He's going to end up in the Congress. He's representing the state, one of the districts you're sitting in, Florida. He also wants to abolish the income tax, replace it with a sales tax. He believes life begins at conception and considers gun ownership a birthright. I'm sorry, guys. These are extremists. These are extremists.
It's just nonsense. Why does owning a gun come right up there with all of the things that are most important to you?
Don't ask me. I'll never understand.
I've gotten along really well for, over 6 decades.
Me
and
too.
I've never shot one.
I know. Never felt like you needed one to. And what kind of a mother are you? You mean you thought you could protect your children? You allowed your children to grow up in a house without guns?
Yeah, but I didn't say I had no weapons, and I have protected myself with large, finely honed butcher knives. They work really well. They scare people.
You just scared Jess. Her eyes just got real big and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
no.
I
had a guy that was torturing me, and he was flashing a knife at me, and I had a great big meat cleaver right next to me, and I picked it up and I flashed it right back at him, and boy did he leave.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, this was back about 35 years when I worked for the ACLU in Missouri. And I was part of this landmark case where we broke sovereign immunity because they played Russian roulette with a kid that of subpar intelligence, and they picked him up in the police station.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about.
How does this come to a guy threatening you with a knife
well,
if you're a lawyer at the ACLU?
A lot of St. Louis is made up of a gazillion different teeny municipalities, each with their own Yahoo police department.
Well, that's what we got
too.
too.
Ended up playing Russian roulette with this kid. And we were suing them, and the little police departments were not happy with me, and they apparently found out where I lived. And there were cops showing up and threatening me at my door. I was never so happy to leave St. Louis in my life and moved to New York. It scared me. I mean, I reported it and everything, but as close as we can find out, that's what was happening. They were just trying to scare me.
Well, all right. Jesus.
I mean, I was a 25-year-old, newly minted attorney. I was pretty scarable, but it's always made me like large, sharp knives.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It'd be a bitch if you had a large knife you thought was sharp, and then you tried to... How sharp does it have to be to get into somebody,
Not
into
hard.
a person?
You just need a good whack, and you've done your job. But a good knife has a lot of heft. And
the thing is a gun is a lot less... You see, with a knife, you have to get close. And that's why, a gun is... A gun is easier in that regard. You can shoot from a distance. You don't have to get so close. You have to actually, protect yourself in that manner. And that's why...
No, all you have to feel is merely threatened, and you can kill, you can blow anyone away in this state and, several others.
I know. If somebody comes into your
those
castle...
same yahoos
yeah.
who want this woman to have this baby have no problem with blowing anyone that sets foot on their front lawn away. That's their right.
Okay.
These men, that's their right.
Legitimate rapes rarely cause pregnancy. Okay, so I just saw that again.
But really, think about that. So here they are parsing rapes.
If you got... No, Ray was right.
Did they bother to parse your right to kill someone? Nah. Any old feeling is sufficient.
If you get pregnant while raped, you enjoyed it. Because otherwise...
You wouldn't have gotten pregnant.
Right, and that's what they think.
Yep.
Wow. Guys... I mean, we know there's rampant stupidity in the Republican Party, but, Jesus, forget it. I don't know what to say.
No, really, those of you who are Republicans of good heart and good minds, and we know you're out there, you really, this is your time to take your country back, really.
Well, look, your party is lost. Your party is lost. Get out of it. You do not have to become a Democrat, but stop identifying with this party if you have any self-respect. That's all I'm saying. I cannot conceive of somebody who has even a measurable IQ and a beating heart and an ounce of empathy affiliating themselves with this party. All right, I got to take a break, I think. We'll be back.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Pittsburgh City Paper is now available on your smartphone. Go to citypapermobile.com to read this week's digital issue or search for restaurants, bars, concerts, events, and movies on any portable device. Plus blogs, Lynn Cullen, City Guide, CPTV, and Best of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh City Paper available at over 1,700 locations throughout western Pennsylvania and on the web at pghcitypaper.com and on your smartphone at citypapermobile.com. Get Lynn Cullen Live on your smartphone. Go to citypapermobile.com now for Pittsburgh City Paper's brand new mobile app. Get the latest restaurant reviews, event listings, movie times, and of course, Lynn Cullen Live on your smartphone. citypapermobile.com.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
All right, back we come. Oh, there was something in the
and I mean, another totally different subject, but again, the same sort of thing. In Indiana now, because they have this widespread, anybody who wants a family of four up to $64,000 is entitled to vouchers to take away from public education and put to any school they want. As a result, they've basically defunded public education in Indiana. They got principals going around to schools begging people to keep their children in the public schools so that they can afford to stay open.
Well, that's their
agenda. Anybody doesn't think that vouchers are designed to end public education, take a look at what is happening in Indiana this year. Really.
That's right. No, but it's not just Indiana, Susan. That's part of the legislation that comes out of that American Legislative conference in D.C., ALEC, and similar laws have been passed and signed into law in a number of states. The Republicans, they're stupid in a lot of ways, and then they're crazy like foxes because they're trying to destroy public education, and they've hobbled it quite a bit. And then you see what they do. Then they point their fingers at these hobbled, underfunded schools and
say that public education is failing.
That's right.
They've taken right.
So
and they blame it on the teachers' unions.
Yeah, right. Because you can take the teachers' unions down this way. You can. It is really, in that respect, brilliant. Brilliant. Give them that. I'll give them that. Oh. Okay, got something here from the Washington Post. And it's what they did is they had, I don't know if they did it or somebody else did it. I think somebody else did it. Kaiser Family Foundation did a poll in which they surveyed just a gazillion people and simply asked them one thing and to come up with one word, quick. What's the one word you would use to describe the Republican Party? One word. And they also they went to Republicans. What's the one word you would use to describe the Democrats? And you want to know what the top three words the Democrats used?
Scary?
No, I'm sure it's in there, but try again. The one okay.
Radical?
No.
What? I don't know.
Bad, greedy, crazy.
Okay.
Here are the top 4 words. Although I don't know how that fourth one got in.
For liberals, it's because we're liberal?
No, liberals is in, but it's not one of the top ones. But clearly, you would say liberal is just it's a descriptive. It's not a bad word. But yes, it is coming out of the mouth of a Republican.
Aggressive?
Yeah, okay, but here's what top 4 words Republicans used to define Democrat. Socialist, idiots, liars. And the fourth one, inexplicably, is suck.
Oh, it's because they're so into elevated discourse.
Well, and they said that 17 of the top 18 words that Republicans use to describe Democrats are clear pejoratives. And the only one that's not, the 18th, is the word liberal, but of course it's meant pejoratively. So all of them are pejoratives. They say on the Democratic side, there is not that totality of disrespect, which is amazing. Although they say there's a little more bipartisan respect, and we emphasize little. The 6th most cited word if you ask a Democrat about Republicans, Democrats actually, the 6th word is good. That's why we're losing.
Yeah.
12 of the top 14 words are negative. And the other non-negative term in the top 14 is what would be considered, again, neutral conservative, which I don't think is a pejorative necessarily, unless you're talking about a specific kind of radical conservatism. But
it's negative now. Conservative is negative as liberal is negative. It's because it is used to describe the furthest reach of it's not conservative. It's lunatic. It's not liberal. It's ultra left.
Okay. The poll also said that the number of Republicans who describe themselves as strong partisan Republicans in the last 14 years, that number has risen from 41% to 65%. So it shows that kind of like entrenchment. And on the Democratic side, you have the exact same kind of thing. Democrats who describe themselves as strong partisans has increased in the last 14 years from 45% to 62%. So you've got 2/3 of each party, ain't going to budge. And so I don't know. This is not good. Just not good. No way to look at it and find anything to be happy about, I'm afraid. All right.
No, it is scary. I mean, as I said to you the other day, I really can't wait for it to be December. It's extremely anxiety producing.
Yeah. But then what happened?
This whole election thing, I mean.
You want it to be over because
I want it to be over.
You're assuming that after that you can relax a little because Obama will have been reelected. What happens if Romney wins? And these yahoos take over? I'm serious. And they have it all. They take over. They even take the Senate. And you got people like Senator Akin and Senator Cruz from Texas joining these other Senator, I think his name is Johnson now, from Wisconsin.
Well, that's I mean,
these are people who are
what'll happen
scary.
Is the country's going to take a hard right turn into idiocy. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And maybe it'll serve to wake some people up when they wake up and everything that they thought was a given is gone. I mean, the women that don't understand that there really, truly is a war on them don't remember that they didn't have the right to vote. Don't remember that they didn't have the right to decide for themselves what their health care should be. Don't remember that they still don't earn the same as men. Don't remember that the doors are still closed to them in a lot of places. And if they keep going, if they don't vote the right way, the small gains that we've made are being peeled away right in front of them. They need to remember exactly how far back they can go. And that includes our vote.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. And I think if Democrats don't get young women out to vote, we could lose it. Women are going, we know there's this gender gap, and women vote mostly for Democrats, at least on the national level. But young women, these young people.
Young women don't vote. I mean, my daughter is, sort of appalled by the number
of her friends,
people she knows,
right,
that they aren't even registered. And she's going, what's the matter with you? You have to be politically active, at least to the point that you vote in these elections. You must. It's important.
It doesn't mean a thing. It's all corrupt. Okay, what difference does it make? And so maybe, I guess what? Every generation has to learn themselves what difference it makes by sitting these things out and then being stunned at what's happening to their lives, that they can't get birth control pills, or they or they can't access
or they get
this
raped
or that.
and find it's not one of the eligible kinds.
Right. I mean, unbelievable.
Of course, it won't matter because rape will be rape and you won't be allowed to do anything about it. So it doesn't really matter whether it's a legitimate one or not. No, it's frightening, and I think part of what's frightening to me is this trend about women. You know, the "I'm not a feminist" thing, as if, you know, okay.
And that's what you hear a lot from young ones too.
Yeah,
huh?
okay, you're not a feminist. What does that mean? You don't vote anyway, so you just as soon give up the right?
Jesus, idiots. Ansel writes, the increase you mentioned in partisanship in the Republican Party and Democratic Party may explain the dramatic increase in those now declaring themselves as independents. I have little doubt that that's true. I don't think my son would ever join the Democratic Party. I don't think so. He'd be an independent. He would tend to vote Democratic, but no, these parties, these kinds of elections, these campaigns, the negativity, the absurdity of them. I mean, he watches this stuff. I'm in the room with him with the news on. He laughs at the ridiculousness of it. He laughs. I heard he went into spasms of hysterical laughter when watching the news last night, and they were talking about Augusta finally admitting 2 women. And someone was quoted as saying, it's like the Berlin Wall falling down. And he literally fell off the couch laughing. Because it is not, I'm sorry, it is not like the Berlin Wall falling down. His reaction was correct. But we're so used to this overstated, all this hyperbole and this equating of golf course membership with, the fall of communism. I mean, come on. He's smart enough to see that. And young people are totally turned off. A lot of them. I'm not saying he doesn't have a appreciation for these issues and stuff, but the conversation to him is absurd and laughable, and it is. You don't think it is? Suze?
Well, yeah.
No, I mean the way we talk, the way news covers these elections, the things that we talk about, the way in which we talk. He laughs at these negative campaign ads. He howls. He thinks there's such a riot. But, this is not, he is not.
It's not engaging to young people. It just teaches them that it's all nonsense anyway. Why would you participate?
Right. It's corrupted, ludicrous idiocy. And
it teaches cynicism.
Right, total. And don't think that's not part of it, too.
Right.
To turn people
because
off.
It's about suppressing the vote.
It's voter suppression again.
No, I mean, the reason that I've been ranging, as you keep coming back to this one topic, across this long list of different subjects, is that it's all the same thing. And you have to look at it as all a very carefully honed product, all together. It's frightening.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. I hear you, and I agree. Well, I don't know what we're going to do.
I don't know. I mean, our mom's frightened, too.
Is she?
Yeah, it frightens her. She's never 90 years old. She said, I've never seen anything like this. I don't see any way out. This is really scary.
Yeah. She thinks this is scarier than World War II?
Yeah.
Than living under the threat of
nuclear annihilation? She was younger and more optimistic. She thought my country, right or wrong, and we're all on the same team, and we fight together. And we know what's right, we know what's wrong, and off we go. That's gone.
Yeah. Hey, I just looked at the clock. We're gone, too.
Okay, bye.
Well, You don't have to be so fast. Enjoy yourself there, Suze.
Huh?
Enjoy yourself.
I'm trying.
Do. Don't talk about politics. I'm sorry I had to do this to you today.
Oh, you didn't? No. Happy to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
I miss you.
Yeah, okay. Miss you too. Okay.
Okay.
Toodle oodle. Bye. And as for the rest of you, Chris Potter tomorrow. And who the hell knows what that means? We'll find out.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.